Hello YouTube, Rovan here again. So this video is about this pedalboard rig, but focusing more on Loopy Pro. So I have Loopy Pro set up here. So this is not a video tutorial. This is more of me figuring things out and sharing it with you. So again, I've gone through the route of choosing Loopy Pro as my looper instead of putting a dedicated looper on my small board. So what I've decided is for MC6, I'm gonna use this MIDI controller to control my guitar effects. And then plan to use I still plan to use the Luminite, so I'm gonna have this dedicated for Loopy Pro, hitting and pressing it for the loops. So that's how I plan to do it. I'm gonna place it at the outside of my board, and then this one beside my iPad. But that's how I plan it. So how did I set this up? Again, I'm using the HX Stomp as my audio interface. Plug into that USB hub here at the side, and then that goes directly to the iPad. So if you haven't seen my other video about this USB hub here, check that out on my YouTube channel. So once that's plugged in, I added the HX Stomp as a hardware input. So you can select one there if you only have your guitar plugged in on input 1 or left input of the HX Stomp. But I added 1 and 2, but you can get away with 1. So once I selected that, it added that channel inside Loopy Pro. So once I had that there, and then I'm just gonna show you in my global settings in the HX Stomp, I had the return type as aux in. The reason why I had that on aux in, so everything that you plug in the left and right return here is just passed through the main outs of the HX Stomp. So that's initially my my setup. In my mind, I was thinking that if I plug this in to a speaker, if I'm not using Loopy Pro and I plug it into a speaker, then my guitar gets processed in the guitar effects chain, but my vocals would just pass through. So, with that setup in mind, I set the return type as aux in. But inside Loopy Pro, I'm just going to demonstrate that. If you add the 1 and 2 inputs, it detects as well the return inputs at the side. So this is my guitar. So it goes into 1 and 2, which is correct, right? Because the guitar is inserted in the left input of the HX Stomp. And here's my mic test, mic test, 1 2. So my mic is plugged on the left return of the HX Stomp. Mic test. So it gets processed as well on inputs 1 and 2. So the workaround that I did, or try to figure it out, I set the return type as return. And then now I added another hardware input. In the HX Stomp, I added the 7/8 input. You can see there the 7/8, and then I'm gonna unmute that. So that now has my vocals. So now I can loop. Just gonna turn down the mic. Now I can loop my guitar and my vocals separately on a separate channel. And then the next thing I did, so I'm happy with that setup, right? But the thing is, if you do it this way, if you set the return type as return, if you're not using Loopy Pro, if you plug the main outs to a speaker, you're not gonna hear the vocals. because if you do it that way, you need to make a return block, so you'll hear the signal of the mic coming from the TC Helicon Harmony GXT. So I just added that block just for purposes of demonstrating. So I removed that return block in the signal path for the HX Stomp because again I'm planning to use this in conjunction with the Loopy Pro app. So the next step that I did was trying to map Digistix with my MIDI controller. So I just researched on YouTube and how to do this. So essentially what I did was add audio unit input and then Digistix 2. So once I selected that, it adds a channel for Digistix. And then the video that I saw talked about you should open Digistix within Loopy Pro. So if you have Digistix open outside of Loopy Pro, you should close that and then go inside Digistix inside Loopy Pro. So how to do that is just to click the icon of Digistix. So once I'm in Digistix, I click on the settings, MIDI sources, and selected my MIDI controller. So once that's selected, my pads didn't work initially, so I had to set that up. So how to set that up is go to select the pad that you want to edit, and then so it initially just gonna show that, yeah. So initially it's here on the pad sample. So if you select that, and then you need to go right until you see MIDI mapping. So hit MIDI learn and then click on the pad that you want to assign that pad there inside the app. And then next. So I've already set this up, so that's how you map the pads inside Digistix to the pads in your MIDI controller. So once I have it there, I'm happy with that. And then I've mapped, so Digistix has like 4, 8, 12, 16 pads. So in the Akai Mini Play, there's 2 sections of the pad, so essentially you have 16. So I mapped everything already. So that's how I map Digistix. And yeah, so once you selected your MIDI controller as your MIDI source inside Digistix, it'll add a section inside the Loopy Pro mixer. Just don't delete that, because if you delete that, then it'll remove the connection between your MIDI controller and Digistix. So I'd imagine if I'm only use the pad for Digistix and then a piano app for the keys, then this one, the destination would be another app. But yeah, that's for probably for our next video. And then yeah, for the mic outs 7 and 8 there, I added a Bleass Voices. So again, this is a purchase app, just because I like vocal effects. So that's the reason why I separated the guitar channel and the vocal channel. So the Bleass app, I purchased this app again. This is a pretty new app. I think they just released this late last year. So I just loved how it harmonizes the voices, right? So I know I have the Harmony GXT here, and right now I have it turned off. And then inside Bleass Voices, I haven't yet messed around with this app yet, but so you essentially have 4 voices, and there's a lot of kind of like patches there that you can play around with. But yeah, so just a sample and how cool this thing is. So I have it here set up as -12 for voice 4 and 5 and -7 for voice 3 and 2. Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. So I just love how cool that is. But if I'm gonna use that, I'm just gonna need to be careful of if I'm using the harmony inside the Harmony GXT, it'll mess around with how it's processed in these voices. So for example, I have a high and low in the harmony. Just gonna turn that up and turn that on. So my mic goes in here, and then the GXT adds the harmony and goes into Magic Stomp and goes into Bleass Voices. So it'll kind of mess around with the harmony. So that's an example. Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. So you can hear that it kind of doesn't know how to put the harmonies. So yeah, just one thing to consider if you're already using a harmony pedal and then processing it through Bleass Voices. But yeah, I think this is enough for my first video on Loopy Pro. I hope you find this useful and hope that I can continue exploring Loopy Pro and sharing it with you guys. If you find this content useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It'll really helps a lot. And see you the next video. Cheers.